Airports are places built around movement. Every day, thousands of people arrive, depart, wait, rush, and disappear into the sky. Passengers come from different cities, different countries, and different lives. Some are traveling for work, some for vacation, others for reasons no one else will ever know. Because of this constant movement, airports are designed to keep track of everything. Security cameras watch every corridor. Boarding passes are scanned. Passenger lists are recorded. Every suitcase passes through machines designed to detect even the smallest irregularity. In theory, airports are some of the most controlled environments in the modern world. And yet, in 1996, something happened inside one airport that investigators still struggle to explain. It started with a man who looked completely ordinary. He arrived at a terminal carrying a small suitcase. Witnesses later described him as calm, quiet, and unremarkable. He was dressed simply, like someone traveling alone, on a routine trip. Nothing about him attracted attention. He walked through the sliding glass doors like thousands of other passengers before him. And then, he disappeared. What makes this story so unusual is that the man was captured on security cameras. Modern airports rely heavily on surveillance. Cameras are placed at entrances, ticket counters, security checkpoints, and boarding gates. Their purpose is simple: record everything. On that evening, the system was functioning normally. Footage shows the man entering the airport terminal at approximately 8:47 p.m. He walks slowly across the polished floor, pulling a small suitcase behind him. Other passengers move around him. Some are talking on their phones. Others are checking the departure boards. Airport announcements echo through the large open hall. Nothing about the scene seems unusual. The man approaches the airline check-in counter. He hands over his ticket. A few moments later, he continues walking toward the security checkpoint. Investigators later confirmed that he passed through security without any problems. No alarms, no unusual items in his bag. Everything appeared normal. And yet, this ordinary sequence of events would soon lead to one of the strangest mysteries ever recorded inside an airport. After passing through security, the man entered the main departure area. This part of the airport was quieter than the crowded entrance hall. Rows of empty seats stretched across the terminal. A large electronic board displayed flights departing throughout the night. According to airport records, the man was scheduled to board a late evening flight. He sat down in the waiting area near his assigned gate. For several minutes, nothing happened. Security footage shows him sitting quietly, occasionally looking around the terminal. At one point, he appears to check the departure board. Then, after roughly 10 minutes, he stands up. This is the moment investigators later focused on, because from this point forward, the timeline becomes strange. Instead of walking toward the boarding gate, the man turns and begins moving in the opposite direction. He walks slowly across the terminal. Then he enters a corridor that leads deeper into the airport. And that corridor is where the mystery truly begins. The corridor he entered was not unusual. Airports are filled with hallways connecting different gates, service areas, and administrative sections. Some are used by passengers, others are used by airport staff. At first glance, there was nothing suspicious about the hallway. Security cameras captured the man walking into it. The lighting was dim but sufficient. The corridor stretched forward for several meters before turning slightly to the right. Passengers occasionally used it to reach nearby gates. But the strange thing is what the cameras recorded next. The man walks into the hallway. He continues forward at a normal pace. And then, he disappears from view. At first, investigators assumed the explanation would be simple. Perhaps the man turned into another corridor. Perhaps he entered a nearby restroom. Perhaps he walked into a restricted area by mistake. But when security reviewed the footage carefully, they discovered something that made the situation far more disturbing. The man never appeared on any other camera again. Airport security realized something was wrong when the passenger failed to appear at the boarding gates. Boarding had begun. Passengers lined up to show their tickets, but the man was not among them. At first, staff assumed he might be running late. They made an announcement over the loudspeaker. Still no response. Minutes passed. Eventually, the flight departed without him. Later that night, airport staff began reviewing security footage to determine where the passenger had gone. That was when they noticed the hallway. They watched the footage again and again. The man enters the corridor, but he never exits. No camera shows him leaving. No door appears to open. No other passenger interacts with him. It is as if the man simply vanished inside the airport itself. And the deeper investigators looked into the footage, the more confusing the mystery became. The first reaction from airport security was simple confusion. Cases of missing passengers occasionally happened, but they usually had ordinary explanations. Someone might leave the airport unexpectedly, change flights, or simply walk outside the building. But this situation was different. The security team began reviewing the footage carefully. They traced the man from the moment he entered the airport. Every step of his movement was recorded. The cameras showed him entering the building, walking through the check-in area, passing through the security checkpoint, and sitting in the departure terminal. Everything about his behavior seemed calm and ordinary. Then they followed him into the corridor. The moment he walked into that hallway was clearly visible on the monitor. One frame showed him approaching the corridor entrance. The next frame showed him inside it. But after that, nothing. There was no footage of him leaving the hallway. No camera caught him walking back into the terminal. No door opened. No other person appeared near him. Investigators watched the footage again and again, slowing it down frame by frame. But the result remained the same. The man entered the corridor, and then he simply vanished from the airport surveillance system. Investigators soon realized that the answer might be hidden in the structure of the airport itself. Large airports are incredibly complex buildings. Behind the passenger areas, there are service tunnels, maintenance rooms, storage areas, and restricted corridors used by airport staff. To understand what could have happened, investigators requested the full architectural layout of the terminal. Blueprints of the airport were spread across a large table. Security officers began studying every hallway connected to the corridor where the man had disappeared. At first glance, the design looked simple. The corridor led to two possible locations. One path turned toward another set of passenger gates. The other connected to a staff-only service area used by airport employees. But both of those paths were monitored by cameras, and according to the surveillance recordings, the man never appeared in either location. This created a troubling question. If the man had not exited the corridor through any visible path, then where had he gone? One possibility investigators considered was that the man had somehow entered the maintenance area of the airport. Behind the public sections of every airport lies an entire hidden network of service corridors. These areas contain electrical systems, ventilation shafts, storage rooms, and maintenance equipment. In theory, someone could become lost inside them. Security officers searched the maintenance sections carefully. They walked through narrow industrial hallways filled with pipes and metal doors. They checked storage rooms and maintenance spaces that were rarely visited by passengers. But the search revealed nothing. No sign of the missing man. No suitcase. No evidence that anyone had entered those restricted areas at all. It was as if the man had vanished before reaching them. This result only deepened the mystery, because if he had not entered the maintenance areas, then the corridor itself became the last place he was ever seen. By the following morning, the airport staff had begun treating the situation as a missing person case. The passenger's name was confirmed through airline records. Authorities attempted to contact the person listed as his emergency contact, but the response they received was unexpected. The contact claimed they had not heard from him for several days. This detail raised even more questions. Why had he been traveling? Where was he going? And why had he suddenly disappeared inside a place filled with cameras and security personnel? Airport staff retraced his movements one more time. From the entrance to the security checkpoint. from the terminal seats to the corridor. Every step of the timeline was documented, but the final moment remained unchanged. The corridor, the hallway where the man had walked in and never came out. As news of the case quietly spread among investigators, theories began to emerge. One theory suggested the man had intentionally disappeared. Perhaps he had planned the entire event in advance. Some investigators believed he might have changed his identity and escaped the airport unnoticed. But this theory had a serious problem. The airport security system recorded every exit point, and none of the footage showed him leaving the building. Another theory suggested that the cameras themselves might have malfunctioned. However, technicians later confirmed that the surveillance system had been working perfectly that night. No missing footage, no corrupted files, no evidence of technical failure. This left investigators with a troubling possibility that somehow the man had disappeared inside the airport without triggering a single camera. Months passed. The case slowly faded from public attention. Airports process thousands of passengers every day, and new events constantly replace old ones in the news cycle. Eventually, the investigation was reduced to a single file. Inside that file were printed photographs from the security footage, images showing the man entering the airport, images showing him walking through the terminal, images showing him entering the corridor, and then nothing. No final photograph, no explanation. The last image simply showed the man walking deeper into the hallway. After that frame, the story ended. The file was eventually archived along with many other unsolved cases. But for the investigators who had studied it, the mystery never fully disappeared. Because no matter how many times they reviewed the footage, the same impossible moment remained. A man entering a hallway and vanishing without a trace.